What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks. So the Love Cup drops today. The time that you're watching this video should be dropping today. And so I think it's about time that we look through this meta and go onto PvP, check out the rankings list here. And I'm going to be breaking down some of the top Pokemon that you're going to be seeing a lot in this Love Cup meta, which is going to be taking place in the Great League this week. And so only Pokemon that have the color of red or pink, kind of an interesting way to like break down a meta based on colors instead of typings. But this is very reminiscent of a Sylph Cup meta actually from season 2, I believe, the Rose Cup. So if anyone out there has ever done Sylph tournaments before, you'll be very familiar with this sort of breakdown of a meta. But yeah, this is gonna be the first meta that's all color based on the Pokemon, and so no specific typing restrictions, which is really nice. But we're going to take a look at some of these top Pokemon and kind of talk through some possible team building ideas for this Love Cup. So make sure you can even follow along and do this with me while you're watching the video. But head on over to pvpoke.com, once again the best online PvP resource for Pokemon Go, and click on the rankings tab, sort by Love Cup, and here you're going to see the top performing Pokemon for this cup. Right off the bat, so there's gonna be a lot of charm, and so when you are dealing with a meta where there is a lot of charm, you kind of need to be aware of how to counter the charm. Luckily, so you can click on like Clefable, for example. Luckily, there are some poison types that are in this meta, as well as a couple of fire types. But as you can see, some of the Pokemon that actually beat Clefable here, like in the key losses tab, some of these are not even fire or poison types. Like Wigglytuff, this is a fairly neutral matchup here. Alola Mola, fairly neutral. Milotic, they don't have any typing resistances. They're just able to beat some of these Charmers because of the bulk. And so anyways, let's get into some of these top picks here. So XL Lickitung, if any of you have an XL Lickitung built, I don't know how that would even be possible, because when have we had the opportunity to get those XL candies? But normal Lickitung does not get up to 1500 CP. However, Licky does, and that is a viable substitute as well. Alomomola is number 2, and this is pretty wild because I'm pretty sure most of you have never used Alomomola before. It's also kind of a tongue twister there. But running the moveset of Waterfall, Psychic, and Hydro Pump, this fish is so bulky. So bulky. If you've never used it before or never gone up against it before, you're going to be very surprised by how much damage this thing is able to tank. It is fairly slow though. Waterfall is a 3-turn move, and both of its charge moves of Psychic and Hydro Pump take a while to get there. You could also run Blizzard as some nice coverage against the grass types, but Alomomola is easily going to be able to beat the fire types, as well as have play against some of the Charmers, which is really nice. Charizard at number 3 here, and the recommended moveset is Wing Attack as the fast move, which is a legacy fast move, and then Blast Burn and Dragon Claw as the charge moves. The reason that Wing Attack is slightly outperforming Fire Spin here is because you're going to be hitting for super effective damage against the fighting types, which you will encounter a couple fighters like Medicham and Scrafty. So having that Wing Attack damage is really nice. You're still hitting for super effective against the grass types, as well as a couple bug types that we'll see, and then you're still hitting for neutral against the Charmers, which is really nice. You're also hitting for neutral against the water types, so Wing Attack is definitely the preferred fast move. I think the only downfall to Wing Attack is that you'll be hitting for resisted damage against an electric type like Electrode. But Wing Attack Charizard looking really nice as a decent response to the Charmers. Electrode at number 4. I think Electrode is going to be one of the best safe swaps in this cup. It seems to be the most flexible. I don't think there's any ground Pokemon. Actually, we can just see. Are there any ground Pokemon in this meta? Crocodile and Camerupt. If any of you out there are running Crocodile or Camerupt, hats off to you, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of ground types that are going to like hard resist the electric type damage. Sure, there will be some grass types, a decent amount of grass types that will resist that electric damage, but that is where having Foul Play is very, very nice on Electrode. All right, XL Medicham is definitely going to be one of the most staple picks in this cup. It is a fighter that resists fighting type damage. You are going to be weak to charm, but especially being XL, you're so bulky that you're able to output a lot of damage. And it turns out that the recommended moveset here is Power Up Punch Psychic. If you're able to lock your Medicham into a really favorable matchup and rip off a bunch of Power Up Punches and leave that matchup with stored energy and then land some boosted Psychics on some Pokemon, it's pretty nice. However, whenever you run the Sims and you run Medicham with Power Up Punch and Psychic, it is most of the time assuming that you're successfully able to bait a Power Up Punch, which does not occur that frequently. So beware of that. You can see maybe there's some play for Ice Punch. It is nice against the grass types, but honestly, most of the grass types in here are also sub-poison typing. So having that Psychic is nice, and having Power Up Punch just to do a little bit of fighting type damage is also decent. I could also see a case to be made that you could just run like double nukes Medicham. I might even do that. Dynamic Punch Psychic, so you have some strong hitting fighting type damage in your charge moves there. Obviously, you're going to be kind of walled by the Charmers, especially Clefable. With Wigglytuff, at least you can hit for neutral with the fighting type moves, but that's still definitely not a great matchup there. And Clefable is squeaking out at the top Charmer here. As the top Charmer here, and is pretty much because of its like pure fairy typing here, you're not taking neutral damage from fighting type attacks. So you can see just absolutely shreds so many Pokemon, and in the 2 shield you can pretty much charm through almost anything. Like, check this out. You go over to Charizard here, you beat Charizard in the 2 shield, and this is honestly going to be the case with almost every Charmer in this cup, because I believe the only Charmers that we're working with are oh, can I sort by move here? Yeah, Clefable and Wigglytuff. There's only 2 Charmers, but Wigglytuff can probably also beat Charizard in the 2 shield. Charm is very, very strong, and so obviously you're going to have to figure out ways to get around this. So Charizard is somewhat of a soft counter to Wigglytuff, because even if you get double baited, you can still just double shield your way through a Charizard, because Charm is just so strong. That's kind of crazy, but be on the lookout for Wigglytuff and Clefable. Shadow Charizard not as high because less bulk. Scrafty at number 9, you're going to be weak to the fighting type damage from Medicham and double weak to Charm. It's going to be a little sketchy. Licky Licky at number 10 here. Non-XL Medicham. Milotic at number 13. This is kind of interesting. Very similar to Alomomola, being very, very bulky, being a pure water type. You're going to be able to handle most of the anti-Charmers, being like the fire types and some like bug and steel types as well. You do lose to Alomomola though, and it looks like the recommended moveset is Surf and Hyper Beam. You also learn Blizzard though, so if you want a nice surprise attack against those grass types, you can run Blizzard. Crustle down here at 14, still running Smackdown as the fast move. Obviously going to shred the fire types there. Beats Electrode, which is kind of cool. You're going to beat Wormadam Trash. That's actually pretty huge, because Wormadam Trash is going to be one of the premier anti-Charmers in this cup, but you are going to be walled by Medicham because your fast moves are doing resisted damage, and X's are only hits for neutral there. Magcargo, a fire type that is weak to fighting and double weak to water. So luckily you do have play against the Charmers, but let's see here. You do beat Wigglytuff in all even shielding scenarios. That is very important to recognize, and I would assume the same is true with Clefable. Yes, this is running Rock Throw on Magcargo. I wonder if you run Ember. If you run Ember, it's the same story with Clefable, and if you run Ember, it is the same story with Wigglytuff as well. So Magcargo can fairly cleanly handle those Charmers, even though it looks like it is a little bit close in the 2 shield. At least you can win in all those even shielding scenarios. Slowking is slightly above Slowbro here. Honestly, Slowbro I think does learn better charge moves. You get to them a little bit faster. Slowbro is going to be a very nice response to the fighters, like specifically Medicham. Against Scrafty, actually, it's not that great because Scrafty has that sub-dark typing, but going to be a good response to Medicham as well as the other water types, because you're hitting for neutral with the confusion, and those other water types are going to be hitting for resisted damage with their waterfall damage. This is kind of strange. It says that you lose to Charizard here. That's only in the 1 shield if you get baited. Otherwise, that's a pretty clean matchup. And that is because Charizard is running wing attack, so it is able to hit you with neutral damage, which is why that matchup is kind of close in the 1 shield. Shadow Magmortar, number 17, kind of cool, running Karate Chop, the new fast move that got the energy increase, which is great. Okay, Shadow Vileplume, this is going to be a very clean response to the Charmers as well as the water types. So you can kind of anticipate handling Charmers either with a poison type, which a lot of these poison types are sub-grass types, and then you're also going to be able to handle the water types, or you can try handling it with a fire type or a steel type. So there are ways to handle Charm, but you do need to look into the simulations and see if you can cleanly beat the Charmers in all even shielding scenarios. Here is going to be one of the premier anti-Charmers in this cup, Wormadam Trash. It's very bulky. You're a bug and steel type, so you're resisting all the moves that the Charmers are going to throw at you, while you're able to hit for neutral damage with Confusion and super effective damage with Iron Head. Only downside is you're going to get absolutely demolished by the fire types. Against Charizard, since Charizard is running wing attack, technically you're only receiving neutral damage there. If it's a Fire Spin Charizard, that's very, very bad. Let me just double check. Alolan Marowak is not in this. Yeah, Alolan Marowak is not in this cup, which is nice because that typically, whenever like fire types are present, is the hardest counter to Wormadam Trash. Triple Legacy Seeking at number 20. Does anyone out there have a Triple Legacy Seeking built? You're going to have some play here with the moveset of Poison Jab, Icy Wind, and Drill Run. You can hit for a lot of super effective damage with the wide coverage of those moves. But against the Charmers, like, I doubt that you beat this in the 2 shield. You lose to the Charmers in the 2 shield because Seeking is kind of glassy, and even though you're hitting for super effective damage, you don't have any typing resistances with the water typing there. One Pokemon that I think is also going to be very, very interesting and kind of a core breaker here is Scolipede, which lots of Venopedes are spawning right now because of the Team Rocket event thing. And so if you have not built a Scolipede yet, I would recommend taking a look at your Venopedes and seeing if any of them are PvP viable. But it is a bug and poison type, so you're going to be weak to the fire types, as well as kind of walled by the steel types like Wormadam Trash, but very solid response to the Charmers here. You can beat this cleanly in all even shielding scenarios, even if you go straight X-Scissor, which is great against the Wigglytuff, as well as the Clefable. So it is a non-bait dependent, very clean win there, which is very, very nice. Apparently you lose to XL Medicham here, but this is assuming that the Medicham is going to be able to land a Psychic. If you get double power up punch baited and they land the Psychic, then apparently they're able to win that. But obviously if they just go straight Psychic, they cannot beat you. So you just have to be careful with what you shield up there. But Scolipede definitely going to be an interesting core breaker here. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about really fast with this video. But you know, the Love Cup is dropping today. We will see what sort of teams are going to work out there. Make sure you run some anti-charm on your team. Like if you want to run a Metacham, which I think is one of the best Pokemon in this cup, make sure you support it with like 2 solid anti-charmers in the back. And as this meta kind of shapes out this week, we will kind of see which Pokemon are really going to be some decent safe switches, as well as different team comp ideas. But hope this video gives you all some ideas of what Pokemon you should invest in and be on the lookout for. Best of luck with your first Love Cup battles, and I will be posting some team comps here pretty soon. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all later.